don't mind the mess. It is, less than a month to bricks in the six, and I've just been doing stuff. This cough is still here. So, I had a friend text me, said, "Hey, Dave, you got some parts for the Stellar Recon Voyager?" I think that's what it's called, the Stellar Recon Voyager, the one set in the Mtron line that, it's not bad, but it's the worst. It's how do I put it? It's my least best set. But he was asking me if I had these kind of windows, because it's Stellar Recon. The ship, again, I could be absolutely wrong in the name, requires two of them. And I had to go into my window bins, my what do I call it? DWFS bins. DWFS, doors, windows, fences, and shutters. My problem with the red is I have at least 5 of those bins with doors, windows, fences, and shutters in them. So I was going through them all to see if I had these guys, and I found out that I have 4. So that's not bad. I think you only need 2 for the ship in the Mtron lines. I found I had 3 of these, which is kind of neat. The 45-degree windows frames, and then I found more of these because I don't know. I have my red printed bin over there for Mtron and or whatever else came in red for space sets, and these are usually in there. So I found 4 more. So there's that. So I decided, because it was a pain in the butt to find these things in the first place across 5 bins, I'm going to sort out my DWFS for red, which took me an hour, and that's what we got. So this will be hopefully it's not as sorted as my good friend Jeff Wyndham's sorting method, TM, but it's sorted enough for me for now, because again, I don't usually build with this stuff unless it's so this I put a Ziploc here for all the original doors that I have the nice little 1x1 round brick and the doors on them. So 1x3x1, 2x3x1, and 3x3x1, and some 4x3x1s in here, and then of course also the 1x3x3 with the glass or the transparent at the top that came out in all those 70 sets. A lot of those doors in here, mostly 1x3x1. But as you can see, there's another one there with the trans clear on the top of it. Just tons of them. So I put them all in there, and then I put my other storage containers, the regular ones and then the shelves and all these other things that I put in here, just because when I used to build some fire trucks, I wasn't as good as building fire trucks as other people, but I used to use some of these drawers for fire trucks, and they worked awesome, but I don't do that right now, so that stays inside. And then these are the other kind of doors, and the cargo doors. I have a few of those, and then the rest of it is just doors and windows of this era. So you got that door, window frame with window. You got the windows with the shutters, connectors on it. This big door I only have 1 of, which is fine. And then all the inserts and blah, blah, blah. The bigger door frames. That one should be thrown into the bin of doom. I might do that right now, just downsize. Bin of doom, bye-bye. You are the weakest link. Bye-bye. Jane Lynch. 2 different people. Sorry, Jeff. I forget the girl's name that on the Weakest Link American. I think it's Jane Lynch. She was also Spencer's mom in Criminal Minds. And she's been in a whole bunch of other stuff. I think she was in Glee. I never watched Glee, but and then, like I said, the doors here always kind of neat. So so all those are just mixed together because I don't care. So that's bin numero uno. So I went from 5 bins down to 4 bins, and the reason why, I'll get into it later with the 5th bin that is not going to go back on the shelves. So we'll just move that one out of the way. This is, besides this piece, I don't know why this piece is in here, but I have no other place to put it. This is my fences only bin, and look, it's almost full of just fences. Now, they're not just all these fences. They have these fences. That's what I'm classifying as fences. And it has these fences, classifying as fences. It has these fences, classifying as fences for me. This fancy fence that came out recently, and I didn't realize I have 3 of these. They're not fences, but and these is fences. So I was literally amazed how much on this thing. It's not even a fence, but I don't know where to put it. This is not a fence, it's a soccer net. But again, when I put it, it kind of matches the rest of the pieces in here. I'm not even sure if this is Lego or not. It fits with I don't think it is. I think it's a clone brand. It's whatever. Somebody will tell me. I was going to show you a 3-wide fence gate and a 4-wide fence gate. They're in here somewhere, but I'm not going to dig for them. I was amazed how many 4-wide fence gates I have. And I should have kept one aside. Oh, there's one right there. Fence gate. The bottom's in here too. I got like a half a dozen of those or a dozen of those, and I think there's a full fence gate, and it just opens up like that. See, pretty neat. But I also have a 3-wide in here, 1 or 2 3-wides. So just fences. So there's that, and then I'll bring these 2 up together. I have a bin and a half of the original pre-system doors and windows. So these 1 by 3 by 4 doors. Yeah, it's 4. And the 1 by 2 by 3 doors. 1 by 2 by 3 doors. And just all the various sizes of windows. The 1 by 6 by 3. The 1 by 2 by 1, the 1 by 2 by 2, the 1 by 2 by 4, or the 1 by 4 by 2. There's a couple 3s, 1 by 3 by 2s in here, probably a dozen. And then I got the 1 by 2 by 1s, and the 1 by 1 by 1s, and the 1 by 1 by 2s. Like dozens of them in here. I don't know if they're thinking to the bottom. There's one right there, 1 by 1 by 1. There's lots of them in here. Oh, there's a 1 by 3 by 2 right there. So that's one bin of those windows. Oh yeah, and also these guys, which somebody we were talking about the other day. I think Stacy on her channel was mentioning these windows, like a while back. I have possibly 2 dozen in here. I won't say, there's another one. I hardly have any of these from my childhood, or any of these are mine from my childhood, because again, they would have been in the big melt prior to 1977. So all these were collected after 1977. And I find that a little bit astounding, but then again, I shouldn't, because I had, if I keep on thinking about it, I had a couple times in my life where I was just hardcore collecting, like just put the ads in the paper, again, pre-internet, and driving around to people's houses. See, there's a 1 by 1 by 2. I got like dozens of them in here. The broken door. The handle's broken. I don't know. That's not going to do yet. But it was when I lived at the pit with my friends, and I put the ad in the paper, the Hamilton Spectator. And as I mentioned earlier, a long time ago, I expected 2 or 3 calls for the time the entire ad ran for 2 weeks. We were getting 2 or 3 calls a night. And I had my pickup truck. I was driving my Honda at that time. And this was my second time in the newspaper. I was driving a pickup truck. But when I was driving around Honda, we all had CVs in our car, because that's what we did. And my friends would, hey, breaker, Dave. And I'd be somewhere in Winona, somewhere. Hey, somebody over here wants to sell you something for $60. I drove over there, big box, $60. So that would be like 1989, 1988, 1989. And so these were the pieces that would be in the sets, the lots that I got. And so I got, as you can see, a cornucopia. And then I have all the shutter bricks, the 1x1x2 shutter bricks. Most of them still have shutters on them. And then, so that's a pretty heavy box. And then I have just a whole pile of the doors, the red doors that connect to the shutter brick. What's that? That shouldn't be in there. Got lost in the sorting. So here's my thing. This is nostalgia for me. Like this is my youth right here. This is what we used to build with our houses and villages with, our little towns, our little creations. My sister, my brother, and I, when we were kids. Those doors and windows, they are important to me, but two bins of importance. Like, I keep on coming back to this. I will never, literally never ever build with these bricks, these doors and windows, unless I'm reconstituting a set from the mid-70s. And there's not too many sets in the mid-70s that I want to reconstitute that have these pieces in them. Like I did the quarry the other month, loved it because of the little conveyor belt going up. And I did the fire station, but those things take 3 or 4 windows each. I don't know what to do with them. This is my issue. I don't want to just give them away. I used to have a friend, I used to have a friend that would call me up every year and say right before BrickFest, Dave, bring your old 70s doors and windows and we'll swap, because he would collect and he would get classic space pieces, and I'd give him bins of this stuff and he would give me his classic space pieces, and it was fantastic. The issue is that doesn't happen anymore. So this stuff builds up. Because the lots that I'm looking for, the lots that I really still to this day, because 1988 was, of course, I'm going to get tons of these because that's would be in every lot back then. Nowadays, these are somewhat rare in used lots, unless they're vintage lots, which is where the classic space is. Which is where the classic space is. So what happens is that, hey, there's a classic space lot. I see classic space pieces in the lot. I go get it. I'm going to get these things. I'm going to get these doors and windows from the early to mid to late 70s, before they went over to the system with the shutters and all the other pieces built into the frame, like 1980. I think 1978, the command center did not have windows. They used the 1x6 trans yellow bricks as windows, and even the little tiny base that came with the 928 used 3 1x4 trans yellow bricks. But I don't think it was until the Beta 1 when they came with the 1x4x3 window that has the picture frame as window, and then the trans yellow glass in it, that they went to that style of window. So pre-1970 or 1980 or 1981, whenever the Beta 1 came out, these were the windows. Like I don't know the demarc between when these were eliminated and the new windows started taking over with the picture frames, and you can put the shutters right on the frames instead of having the 1x2 bricks with the shutters. But it was the late 70s. So, but that's also when Classic Space came out, right? So when I go get Classic Space sets, yeah, I'm going to get these pieces. And look at all the pieces I have. And I'm going to say this because my friend that I used to, at least every other year at BrickFest, exchange this stuff for other pieces. Most of this has been collected since then. Because, again, I would have gotten rid of most. I keep some of it. Like, I don't get rid of all my 70s pieces because I'm a child of the 70s, and these, as I mentioned earlier in this video, these pieces are important to me from my youth. And the nostalgia factor. Every time I find one of these windows, like literally every time I find one of these windows, it's nostalgia for me. Like, a lot of people say, oh, it's just a window from the 70s. This is what the hours of my sister, my brother, and I with these pieces back in the day on the concrete floor in the basement or on the pool table or on the living room floor, just laying there on our bellies and kicking our legs up in the air and just building for hours on end. And the memories of all that, this stuff, like the 2x4 bricks, you know, they're the same bricks as they were back in the, yes, they've changed the mold and stuff, but still it looks like this one they haven't produced in 35, 40 years. So there's a huge nostalgia factor here for me, but I don't need to keep them all, but nobody else wants them. It's just the same as those bins of tires over there. I keep on seeing once sporadically on the marketplaces, oh, bin of tires, you know, and I'm going, who's buying that? Who is buying a bin of tires? Because I got stacks of tires over there that with the 2x4 brick I mentioned. What am I going to do with them all? It is time to downsize, but I don't want to just throw them out, but nobody wants to buy them. I have, which is where the fifth box comes in of this. It's the 2-wide, the Mickey Mouse, the McDonald's sets that came with the little houses at one point. The 2-wide windows that are 2x4x3 bricks tall, and the doors are 2x4 by I think 5 or 6 bricks tall. People use those. Again, I'm gonna bring them to Bricks in the Six for the garage sale because I got 2 bins of them out there. I'm gonna bring in the garage sale. I'm gonna put like $5 for the bin. Take the whole thing. People use them not for doors and windows. They use them to build the interior of mountains and big builds that they have to build landscaping with, because these things are perfect for that. I did that once or a few times when I was doing train layouts where I could build a mountain really, really quickly using those window frames and door frames. But I don't do that anymore. I do not do that anymore. And were I to go back into the landscaping, I wouldn't be using those again. I liked them at the time because they're quick. But I found just using my 2x2 bricks and cross bracing them every couple layers with 2x4s or 2x8s was perfectly happy for me, because I can do more granular of my landscaping. Because I did both ways. But those picture frame, those windows and doors, the 2-wide, they're fantastic for building big structures fast, if you want to just hide all that stuff in the interior. So I'm telling my friend Jeff, and anybody else who's watching, I have 2 bins. I'm going to probably put them in a big Ziploc. If I have one. I do have one. I'm going to put them in a big Ziploc, and they're going to come to Bricks in the Six, and I'm going to sell them cheap because I don't care. Those have no nostalgia factor for me. I will literally never, ever use them again, and I just want to get rid of them. And that frees up, because I went 5 down to 4 bins, that frees up spot on my shelf. So what I'm trying to do right now is, when we first put these shelves in, I had room on the shelves for display purposes of putting whatever on a display. But right now, every single square foot of shelf is full of these bins because I have so much Lego in here. And so downsizing is important right now for me. And as I said, I don't want to deal with this as I get older. I'm not saying most of it, but I want a lot of it gone before I hit 60 because I do not want to deal with it as I get older. I'm perfectly healthy now. There's no end game here. There's no reason for me to be concerned, but time marches on, and again, I just sat on the floor for an hour sorting this stuff out, and I'm going, it was tough for me to get back off the floor. Now, I could have done it here, but I didn't have enough space here to do all the sorting of 5 bins nicely. It's easier to do it right on the floor in the rec room on top of the carpet. But I was sitting on the floor and then sorting, and then all of a sudden I stand up an hour later and it's like, holy moly, my knees are saying, what are you doing? What are you doing to me? And I'm going, yeah, my friend Callum told me years ago we were having a sorting party somewhere. I can't remember whose house. Maybe it was Jeff's house or somebody's house. Maybe it was here. I don't know. We were having a sorting party, and the Jeff and me and whoever else was there was sitting on the floor with a big pile of bricks sorting, and Callum sat on a chair with a platform that he was sorting on because he didn't get onto the floor with us. And I thought that was a little bit odd, but now I am appreciating that. I'm appreciating sorting while sitting at a desk or a platform, so you're not your bum's on the floor and your knees are going when you try to get back up. What are you doing? So I'm thinking, yeah, this has to be downsized. this honestly has to be downsized. And with that said, what to downsize and how to downsize is my two biggest problems, which is what I've been talking about for years now on these videos that you've been watching. My two biggest problems: what to downsize and how to downsize. And that's my thing. But the easy quick hits is taking those two wide windows and doors frames to Bricks in the Six, and a baggie like this with $5 or whatever on the baggie. Take it, and I freed up space. I'm gonna have a few more bins. I might bring some tires. I may bring some tires, but I think I had some other stuff that I had set aside. I just can't remember where it is now. That's my other problem. To bring the Bricks in the Six for the garage sale, because I find it just takes up room and I'll never use it. My little thing right now is I have two big totes, big bins, those Home Depot containers that hold like 6 of these. I have, or maybe 8. I have 2 totes of that of Bionicle here, but I am loath to get rid of it. There's a nice way of saying it. I am loath to get rid of it because sporadically, once in a blue moon, I'll come down here and those totes will be out there, and Josh would have been playing all night building, not necessarily Bionicle, but things out of the Bionicle pieces, and he has these huge adventures with them still to this day, which is a joy to watch. So but as soon as that is done, I have no problem. Bye-bye Bionicle. Because I even though, again, this is not a slight against Bionicle at all, because my friend Daniel and what I've seen, what people can build with Bionicle, just it completely awes me. Like I am in complete and utter fantastically awed by what they do with Bionicle compared to regular building bricks. And so I am not one of these people say, I hate Bionicle. I love Bionicle. I absolutely love it, but I'm not good at it. I don't want to be good at it. I don't need to be good at it. I have enough on my plate with the rest of the stuff to be. So losing the Bionicle, the 2 totes would be fantastic, but I can't get rid of them today. But the other things are, when I keep on sorting my stuff into the Jeff Van Winden sorting method, I keep on having overflows. So I'm going to bring baggies of trans parts and other parts that didn't fit into one. So I have a whole bunch of those, but that doesn't free up shelf space because they're already off the shelves into baggies. I do have some of those Technic containers that came in the 90s. I don't know what they were for. I think they were for some sort of robot or truck or whatever. They sit there. I also have, I believe in the garage, some 70s Lego briefcases that I do not want. So those are going, I hope, if I find them. Yeah, so I'm going to go through this room. I'm going to find stuff that's easy to get rid of, and I don't have to sit in the garage sale for like 5 hours. I'm going to bring like 20 or maybe 15 or 20 things and then put them out there, get them sold, and go back to the show. That's my plan. I will say I had, for my first time at a garage sale, actually being part of a garage sale last year at Bricks in the Six, I had fun. I'm going to say that. I actually had a good time. I brought 90% of my boat hulls, because again, I had a huge tote of boat hulls and bigger pieces that I didn't know what to do with. And I said $1 a piece. I didn't bother going on Bricklink to figure out what the prices were. Don't care. Need them gone. And some other moderately big pieces that just take up a lot of room that are from Scala or Belleville or whatever that I don't need. I'm not refurbishing those sets. But they were big pieces. And I said, just get rid of them. And I felt perfect the minute they were gone. And I went back to the show and I never thought about them again until this video. so obviously I'm not missing them. So I think the stuff I'm going to get rid of this year, I won't miss. because how can you miss something when you have this much more? And that's the other thing, not to go off on this tangent right now, but that's the other thing that I've been very, very cognizant of lately, is this feeling of hoarding and accumulating just for the sake of accumulating. Some people it's money, some people it's other stuff. But I felt good after last year's garage sale. I really felt good. Like, I went into it thinking, oh, should I, shouldn't I, should I, shouldn't I? And I'm going, I'm getting rid of pieces I might never see. And I thought, wait, if I need a piece that I sold at the garage sale for $1, and I need it the next day, the next week, the next month, next year, 10 years from now, Bricklink's always going to be there. Or something akin to Bricklink is always going to be there for me to grab the parts. And so I'm not, the second I realized consciously in my head that I'm not going to miss this part, and if I need it, I'll get it. I was like, it was a load off my shoulders. It was a relief to my mind. And so I've been looking forward to Bricks in the Six again, because first of all, it's a fantastic show. And Graham does a fantastic job. For me, other people's mileage may vary, but I've been to, have I been to 2? I honestly can't remember. I think that last year was my first year. Was it my first year? I can't remember now. But I'm going back to Bricks and Six this year, and I can almost guarantee you I'm going to have a great time, just by catching up with friends. And so I'm going to, but I ain't going to bring stuff to the garage sale. Like a whole bunch of 2x windows and doors, 2x4 by, whatever. I'm going to try to remove the Fabuland doors because they're in there. But if the Fabuland doors go, am I really going to be upset about it? Fabuland. That's for Jeff. That's it. That's all. These things have been great. Therapy on the internet. So I will talk to everybody soon. Take care. Bye.